morning, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jenn B, and you're tuned in to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Today, we are going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, who clinched the number one seed in the East this past week. We will then talk some hockey with the Blue Jackets, who playoff hopes are still alive, dwindling, but still alive. We'll talk about the Cleveland Monsters. We will talk some baseball with the Guardians, the Clippers, and the Rubber Ducks. Then we will move on to some volleyball with the Columbus Fury, football with the Cleveland Browns, and football with the Crew and the Cleveland Crunch, who are going for their second championship in a row tonight. So stay right here with me, Jenn B, on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we will get into all of that right after these messages from our sponsors.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps. for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be sure to check out all of our wonderful sponsors. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. It is some of the best beef jerky you will find. Head on over to planetjerky.net to place your orders today and get free shipping on orders of $50 or more. Vital Apparel that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Head on over to their website and place your orders using code IESR to get 15% off. Seal the Deal Wax Seals, the perfect finish to your letters, invitations, and gifts. Head on over to iesportsradio.com/seal the deal wax seals to check them out. And of course, IE Sports Radio. We wouldn't be here without IE Sports Radio. Be sure to follow us on all of the socials at IE Sports Radio and hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. You can also check out our merchandise at iesportsradio.com/shop and get your t-shirts to further support IE Sports Radio and our newest sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. Head on over to getrawnutrition.com. Use code IESR to get 10% off your order. You can catch me on all of the socials right here. Show of the Land IE on X and my personal accounts on X, IG, and Threads. Believe Land Girl and on TikTok, Jen.BelieveLand. And if you enjoy the show, support us. Here's the link. I will put it in the chat here shortly. Before I get started, the chat room is bumping, so let's give a shout out to the chat. We've got Larry B. He says, Jen. Then Jen. I have the tiger. Shout out to Larry B., the CEO of IE Sports Radio. He is also the host of The Defining Moment, co-host of 3 and Out with Taryn Rodriguez, who we have here also, and co-host with his lovely wife, Cecilia B. of the Sports Couples Perspectives. And we also have Ralph Calise. He says, good morning. Have an amazing show. Thank you, Ralph. He is the host of the Yinzer Report here on IE Sports Radio. You can catch him on Fridays for all of your Pittsburgh sports needs. And we will be talking a little Pittsburgh today because we have a couple of teams playing some Pittsburgh teams. And Ralph is correct. There is no rivalry between us. And back to Taryn. He is the host of Set Point, our volleyball show. You can catch him tomorrow for all of your volleyball sports needs. He is also the host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. You can catch that show on Fridays for your Southern California sports needs. And as I said before, he is co-host of Three and Out with Larry B. Let's get into the sports. How about them Cleveland Cavaliers? Currently 64-17 on the season with one game left to play. They will be playing that tonight, and I expect it to be a loss because, as we'll get to here shortly, nobody is playing. But before we get to that, how did they do this past week? Well, Sunday, they played the Sacramento Kings, losing 120 to 113. That was not a good game. Max Drew surpassed a 700 career 3-point shots made, and Ty Jerome led the team with 20 points. Donovan Mitchell did go out during the game due to a sprained ankle. He came back and did not do much. Tuesday, they played the Chicago Bulls, winning 135 to 113. Donovan Mitchell was out with that sprained ankle. Craig Porter Jr. was also out with an illness, and Naquan Tomlin, two-way player, was out as well. Isaac Okoro got the start in Mitchell's absence. Darius Garland led the team with 28 points, and Evan Mobley had a double-double with 21 points and 12 rebounds, and that win clinched the number one seed in the East for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Home court throughout the playoffs, except the finals, because they did not clinch the best record in the NBA. Thursday, they played the Indiana Pacers with Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and Max Strus all out. And they only lost by 2. They lost 114 to 112. The starting 5 were Ty Jerome, Sam Merrill, DeAndre Hunter, Dean Wade, and Jarrett Allen. Ty Jerome led with 24 points, and DeAndre Hunter had a double-double with 23 points and 11 rebounds. Friday, with Donovan Mitchell, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, and Sam Merrill all out, and a 23-point deficit. Shout out to Mike with Indie Sports Nation, Big Mike. He says, good morning. Enjoy the Pacers Cavs G League game today. Yes, pretty much. We'll be talking about that here shortly, about all of the players who are not playing. But yeah, I don't plan on watching that one. I have much more important things to watch, like the Blue Jackets trying to get into the playoffs. Yeah, this game should be a joke. And shout out to Brian, who is the host of the Beantown Sports Pound. Oh, and of course, Big Mike is the host of Indie Sports Nation. Oh my goodness. He says, hope we get Cavs Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Would not surprise me in the least. Not at all. So we will get to who the Cavs will be playing here shortly, but let's finish up this Knicks game. So the Cavs played the Knicks with Donovan Mitchell, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, and Sam Merrill all out. So that means we had Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen of the starting group playing. Top 2 bench players out. Sharpshooting bench player out. Cavs are down by 23. They won 108 to 102 for the season sweep of the New York Knicks. Yes. That happened. It truly happened. Ricky, who is the host of New York State of Sports, posted in our group chat. The Cavs didn't even try and the Knicks still couldn't beat them. It's true. It's true. I mean, Darius Garland tried, which we will talk about right now. Darius Garland led the team with 26 points and a double-double with 13 assists. His teammates challenged him to go out there and get it done, and he did just that. Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley also both had double-doubles. Jarrett Allen with 11 points and 13 rebounds, and Evan Mobley with 16 points and 10 rebounds. This win was a franchise record 30th road win of the season. The previous record was 27. And now for that G League game we were discussing. This afternoon or this evening, somewhere around there. I'm not even sure what time the game is. I think it's at 6. It might be at 5. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not watching because nobody's playing. So, final game of the season this afternoon against the Indiana Pacers. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, Sam Merrill, Isaac Okoro, and Dean Wade all out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of 15. 9 of 15. So that leaves 6. 6. 6. 6. Plus 3 two-way players. That's who's playing tonight. Jarrett Allen will play because he is going for his 82nd consecutive start of the season for the first time in his career. I doubt he'll play much, but he will start. So if I had to guess, I would say the starting lineup will be Craig Porter, Amoni Bates, Javonte Green, Jalen Tyson, and Jarrett Allen. That's my guess. It could be the new guy whose name is escaping me at the moment. Instead of Amoni Bates or instead of Javonte Green, but yeah. Yikes, right? That's crazy. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to the Cavs being this good that they can actually do this. So, anyway, with the playoffs incoming, the Cavs will finish the season 65-17 or 64-18, depending on how the game plays out tonight. I won't be watching either. I have some IndyCar to watch. Do you feel this team is better than the LeBron James one that won? Oh. All right. So excuse me. All right, this is a loaded question. So LeBron James is without a doubt better than any player on this team. Absolutely any player on this team. At least then he was. Now he's 40. That's a different story. But in 2016, he was not 40. And he was amazing. LeBron James, without a doubt, is better than any player on the current roster. However, the depth on this roster is better than that 2016 team. I would argue that Darius Garland gives Kyrie Irving a run for his money. Jarrett Allen, better than Tristan Thompson. Donovan Mitchell, better than any other guard that was on the Cavs team in 2016. Evan Mobley, better than Kevin Love. Kevin Love might be a better shooter, but all round, Evan Mobley's better than Kevin Love. So overall, yes, this team is definitely better than the team that won the championship in 2016. But like I said, LeBron James is by far better than any player on this team. Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell together equal LeBron James. But LeBron James was better than any player on this current roster. But like I said, the overall roster from top to bottom, better than the 2016 team. Definitely more depth. Thank you, Ralph. All right. So with the playoffs incoming, we do not know who the Cavs will be playing in the first round. It will be either the Orlando Magic, the Atlanta Hawks, the Chicago Bulls, or the Miami Heat. I predict it will be the Atlanta Hawks, the Chicago Bulls, or the Miami Heat because I expect that the Magic will get the 7 seed. But we'll see. We'll see how the play-ins play out. The play-ins play out. That was fun. That was a nice little fun play on words there. We'll see how it plays out. But I do think it will come down to the Hawks, the Bulls, or the Heat. I have no concerns about any of those 3 teams, and I think the Cavs will sweep any of those 3 teams. Maybe they'll lose one on the road. Maybe, but any of those 3 teams, I think the Cavs will most likely sweep in the first round. If by some crazy chance the Orlando Magic end up the 8th seed, it's going to be a scrappy series and it could go to 7. Thank you again, Ralph. All right. So that is going to be all the basketball for today because the Charge are done with their season. Let's move on to some hockey. The Blue Jackets are still alive, y'all. The Blue Jackets are still alive. Thank you, Toronto. Unfortunately, their fate is not in their own hands. However, they do play a role in it. They do have to win out. And we'll talk about that here after we get through how they have done over the past week. Sunday, they lost 4-0 to the Ottawa Senators. Daniil Tarasov got the start, but was pulled a little over 4 minutes into the first period after giving up 2 goals. Tuesday, they again played the Ottawa Senators. This time they won 5-2. Dmitry Voronkov, Justin Danforth, Matthew Olivier, and Adam Fantilli all had 5-on-5 goals, and Sean Monahan had a power play goal. Adam Fantilli's goal was his 25th of the season, and he is the first in his draft class to have a 25-goal season. Congratulations to Adam Fantilli. He is having a fantastic sophomore season. Thursday, the Blue Jackets played the Buffalo Sabres, and they won 3-2. James Van Riemsdyk scored a goal. Ashton Reese and Boone Jenner scored a power play goal. Saturday, the Blue Jackets played the Washington Capitals. Son Alex Ovechkin. Yep. So they were basically playing the Hershey Bears, but they won 7-0. In the first period, Zach Werenski, Kent Johnson, and Adam Fantilli all scored goals. In the second period, Adam Fantilli, Sean Monahan, and Cole Sillinger scored goals. And then in the third period, James Van Riemsdyk capped things off with the 7th goal for the Gordie Howe hat trick. And for those that don't know, that means he had a goal, an assist, and a fight. Jet Greaves was in the net and earned his first career NHL shutout. Congratulations to Jet. Man, I hope to see him in the Blue Jackets uniform all season next year. Goodbye, Elvis. Farewell, so long, I bid adieu to thee. And as I said, playoff hopes still alive. However, they must win out, and Montreal must lose out in regulation. They have to lose out in regulation. If they score one more point, Blue Jackets are eliminated. So, what do the Blue Jackets have to do between now and the end of the season? Well, they have to beat the Washington Capitals again tonight. Then they have to beat the Philadelphia Flyers on Tuesday. And then they have to beat the New York Islanders on Thursday. And hope and pray that Montreal loses in regulation for the last 2 games of their season. Elvis has left the building. Yes, thank God. I don't like that guy. I'm sorry. I just don't. I am not an Elvis Merzlikins fan at all, any way, shape, or form. And I think I've made that abundantly clear. But that is going to be it for the Blue Jackets. We are going to talk some hockey some more with the Cleveland Monsters here. Oops. There we go. The Monsters are pretty well set in the playoff standings for the AHL. But, wins don't hurt. Wednesday, they played the Grand Rapids Griffins, winning 4-3. Rocco Grimaldi, Hunter McCowan, Madison Bowie, and Luca Del Bel Blues scored the 4 goals. The Monsters also signed goaltender Evan Gardner and defenseman Charlie Ellick, both Blue Jackets draft picks, 2 amateur tryout contracts. Evan Gardner had a fantastic season in the EHCL this past year. So maybe we'll be seeing him next season either for the Monsters or the Blue Jackets. Probably the Monsters so that Jet Greaves can move up to the Blue Jackets. And with Jet Greaves on an emergency recall in Columbus, the Monsters recalled Pavel Kazan from the Cincinnati Cyclones. Saturday, last night, the Monsters played the Toronto Marlies, losing 4-1. Hunter McCowan scored the lone goal. The Monsters have 4 games left. I believe they might have one on Sunday. I'm not sure. I forgot to mark that down. I'm not sure if Saturday is their last game or if they have one on Sunday, but Sunday's game would be covered on next week's show, so I don't have it on here. But anywho, this afternoon they will again play the Toronto Marlies. Wednesday, the Rochester Americans. Friday, Lehigh Valley Phantoms. And Saturday, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. See, Ralph, like I said, some Pittsburgh teams coming into the mix. That is going to wrap things up for the hockey and the basketball. I am going to take a short break, and when I return, we will talk some baseball. So stay right here with me, Jenn B, on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and I will be right back after this.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is. your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold. Have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Welcome back to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. You can check out Philly Sports Talk on Thursdays and the Yinzer Report with Ralph Calise on Friday evenings. And then you can get your Pennsylvania sports fill from Philly to Pittsburgh. Now, for some baseball. Cleveland Guardians, undefeated at home. For now. They still have another game to play. But for now, they're undefeated at home. But we'll get to that after we finish this road series against the Los Angeles Angels. Last Sunday, they finished out the series against the Angels, losing 6-2. The starting lineup was left field Stephen Kwan, third base Jose Ramirez, DH Carlos Santana, center field Elaine Thomas, first base Kyle Manzardo, right field John Kenzie Noel, second base Gabriel Arias, catcher Austin Hedges, shortstop Brian Rocchio, starting pitcher Luis Ortiz. And for some reason, I did not say how Luis Ortiz pitched that game. Oops. All right, well, Kyle Manzardo had a solo home run in the fourth, and other than that, not much happened because they lost. But it's all good because they're headed home to the land after that one. They acquired right-handed pitcher Cody Bolton from Seattle for cash and have optioned him to AAA Columbus to make room for him on the 40-man roster. The Guardians placed left-handed pitcher John Means on the 60-day IL. That was not unexpected. Talked about that prior to the season starting. He is not expected to be a go probably until August, so makes sense there. The home opener was on Tuesday against the Chicago White Sox, and it was a crazy game. The Guardians won 1-0. That's right, 1-0 with a walk-off walk in the bottom of the ninth. Starting lineup, left field Stephen Kwan, third base Jose Ramirez, first base Carlos Santana, DH Kyle Manzardo, center field Elaine Thomas, who was subsequently hit by a pitch in the fifth inning and left the game with a right wrist contusion. Daniel Schneemann came in to replace him. Right field, Nolan Jones. Second base, Gabriel Arias. Catcher, Bo Naylor. Shortstop, Brian Rocchio. Starting pitcher, Ben Lively. Ben went 5 innings pitched, had 4 strikeouts and 3 walks. No earned runs, obviously, since there were no runs scored. And Nolan Jones had the aforementioned walk-off walk in the bottom of the ninth. X-rays were negative on Lane Thomas, and he is considered a day-to-day. The Guardians did recall outfielder Angel Martinez from AAA Columbus and optioned outfielder Jonathan Rodriguez back to AAA Columbus. Angel Martinez, of course, filling in for Lane Thomas while he recovers from that wrist contusion. Wednesday, the Guardians again played the Chicago White Sox, winning once again 3-2. Starting lineup: left field, Stephen Kwan; third base, Jose Ramirez; first base, Carlos Santana; DH Kyle Manzardo; right field, John Kenzie Noel; center field, Nolan Jones; shortstop, interesting, Gabriel Arias; second base, Daniel Schneemann; catcher, Austin Hedges; starting pitcher, Logan Allen. Logan went 4.2 innings, or 4 2/3 innings, had 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. Carlos Santana had a solo home run in the third inning. And like I said, the Guardians won 3-2. Thursday, the Guardians wrapped up the series against the White Sox, winning 6-1 for their first series sweep of the season. Starting lineup was left field, Stephen Kwan; third base, Jose Ramirez; DH, Carlos Santana; first base, Kyle Manzardo; center field, Nolan Jones; right field, John Kenzie Noel; catcher, Bo Naylor; second base, Daniel Schneemann; shortstop, Brian Rocchio; and starting pitcher, Gavin Williams. Gavin was getting a little more back to normal Gavin Williams type pitching. He went 5 innings, had 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 1 earned run given up. Stephen Kwan hit a 2-run home run in the third inning, and Kyle Manzardo had a 2-run home run in the first. Friday, the Guardians started a series against the Kansas City Royals, and they won 7-0. The starting lineup was left field, Stephen Kwan; third base, Jose Ramirez; first base, Carlos Santana; DH, Kyle Manzardo; right field, John Kenzie Noel; second base, Gabriel Arias; center field, Angel Martinez; catcher, Austin Hedges; shortstop, Brian Rocchio; and starting pitcher, Tanner Bybee. Bybee did not have a great outing. He pitched 4 2/3 innings, had 4 strikeouts and 4 walks. Not terrible, because he didn't give up any runs, but not great. 4 walks, not great for a starting pitcher, and he only went 4 2/3 innings, which was a huge problem last year and seems to still be a problem this year. Gabriel Arias hit a 3-run home run in the fourth and did his best Andres Jimenez impersonation while playing second base. He had a phenomenal game offensively and defensively. And if you haven't seen it, check out my Twitter for the show's Twitter, Show of the Land, IE. I reposted it. He had a phenomenal double play towards the end of the game that was it was very Andres Jimenez like, very. Yesterday, the Guardians again played the Kansas City Royals, winning 6-3. The starting lineup: left field, Stephen Kwan; third base, Jose Ramirez; first base, Carlos Santana; DH, Kyle Manzardo; right field, Nolan Jones; second base, Gabriel Arias; center field, Angel Martinez; catcher, Bo Naylor; shortstop, Brian Rocchio; starting pitcher, Luis Ortiz. Ortiz went 5 2/3 innings with a career best 10 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 1 earned run. Gabriel Arias had a solo home run in the sixth. The rest of the runs were just your run-of-the-mill RBIs. Next up for the Guardians, they will finish out the series against Kansas City Royals this afternoon. Then Tuesday through Thursday, they will have a series against the Baltimore Orioles. And Friday through Sunday, the Pittsburgh Pirates. That is all for the Guardians, who are on a 5-game win streak, which is fantastic after that horrible West Coast road trip. Now for some Columbus Clippers talk. The Clippers have started their season 9-3 on the season. Sunday they beat St. Paul 3-2. They had a doubleheader on Wednesday against the Worcester Red Sox. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's how I'm going to say it. Red Sox. Anywho. Game 1, they won 6-5. Will Wilson had a solo home run in the second, and Will Brennan had a grand slam in the 7th. They lost game 2 5-4. Thursday, they beat the Red Sox 2-1. Petey Halpin had a solo home run in the second. And Friday, they won 9-2, also against the Red Sox. Juan Brito had a 2-run home run in the 5th. They will finish out the series against the Red Sox this afternoon, and then they will begin a series Tuesday through Sunday against Louisville, who are the Cincinnati Reds AAA team. Now for the Akron Rubber Ducks and Travis Bazena. Watch. What? The Rubber Ducks have started the season 5-2. An interesting tidbit that I found out while I was looking for my color codes. The Akron Rubber Ducks and the Akron Zips use the same colors. Interesting. I thought it was interesting, at least. Anyway, they started the season 5-2. They swept Richmond to start the season in a 3-0 3-game series. And they went 3-2 against Altoona. The final game of that 6-game series will be today. Next up for the Rubber Ducks, Tuesday through Sunday, they will play a series against Erie. So now for Travis Bazena. He has had 28 at-bats so far. He has hit 1 home run, had 5 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and a batting average of 321. Not bad, young man. Not bad. Will we be seeing Travis move up to AAA here in the not too distant future? We shall see. A lot of that's going to depend on if Gabriel Arias keeps things up, because the Guardians will probably need to call up Juan Brito in order for Travis to move up, but it could happen. We will be keeping an eye on that. Full show. Thank goodness Gabriel Arias has not been overly disappointing at second base, filling the ginormous shoes of Andres Jimenez. That is going to wrap up the baseball of it all. I am going to take another short break, and when I return, we will wrap up the show with some volleyball, some football, and some football. Stay right here with me, Jenn B, on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I will be right back after this.
Hey, sports fans. Are you in the market for Florida sports, or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a down south education on Florida sports and athletics. It's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. You can catch Palm Tree Sports with Corey Poolhouse later on tonight. And Let's Whine About DMV Sports with Mike Pat is on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to check out those shows for your Florida and DMV sports needs. Let's talk a little volleyball. We really don't have a whole lot to talk about because you know what? The Columbus Fury didn't play this week. But they're back in action tonight against the Vegas Thrill. Then Wednesday, they will play the San Diego Mojo, and Friday, the Orlando Valkyries. So we will have plenty to talk about with the Columbus Fury next week. But that's it. I do want to mention, I saw it this morning, so I didn't have it in my notes because I finished my notes last night. But the Mount Union Purple Raiders men's volleyball team won the MVCL championship. The Fury broke the Thrill. Oh, I'm not sad about that. I'm not. Because the Fury have been broken all season. So at least they won a couple finally after going 0 and whatever it was, 6 or 8 or something ridiculous. Anywho, but the Mount Union Purple Raiders men's MVCL champions. Way to go, Purple Raiders. Because they're not just champions in football, y'all. They champions in men's volleyball, too. Go Purple Raiders. Now, for some Browns. Ohio State men's team also won yesterday. But once again, I saw it after I had finished my notes. So we'll talk a little bit more about Ohio State men's volleyball next week as they start getting into the conference championships and all of that fun stuff. Cleveland Browns. What's happening with the Cleveland Browns? So this past week, the Cleveland Browns signed quarterback Joe Flacco to a 1-year, $4 million deal with up to $13 million in incentives. So what does this mean? What could it possibly mean? So to me, what it means is the Browns know pretty much what they're doing in the draft. I think they have quarterback narrowed down to 1 to 3 guys. I'm going 1 to 3 because I personally do not think they're going quarterback at number 2. My husband is going to argue with me from now until that pick is made because he is convinced they're taking Shedeur Sanders at 2. I think they're taking Travis Hunter, myself, personally. Maybe Abdul Carter, but I think they're leaning towards Travis Hunter. So I think they're going to take Travis Hunter. But what I mean by 1 to 3 guys is I do believe the Browns will be taking a quarterback somewhere between pick 2 and pick 33. Whether that means they take him at 2, at 33, or they trade up from 33 to get a quarterback in the first round. I don't know, but that is my prediction. I do think they have it narrowed down to, like I said, 1 to 3 guys. that they are interested in, because you do not sign Joe Flacco to start an entire season. Shout out to T5, host of the Crescent City Connection, that you can catch on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He says, have an excellent show. Hunter in round 1, Jackson Dart in round 2. That is possible. That is possible. So, my thoughts are that the Browns haven't narrowed down to 1, 2, 3 guys. Whether or not Shedeur Sanders is one of those 3 guys, I don't know. I mean, it may not even be 3. Like I said, 1, 2, 3 guys. They have it narrowed down to at quarterback. Joe Flacco is not going to start 17 games. Not happening. And you're not rolling things out with Kenny Pickett. That's not happening either. So, I think they know or have a good idea what they're going to do at quarterback in the draft. And they also know said quarterback is most likely not going to be ready to go week 1. So, you sign Joe Flacco, quality veteran backup who can start the season if needed, play the first however many weeks, maybe till the bye week, first 5 to 6 games, whatever. Get the young guy up to speed and then get him in there. And then Joe Flacco will be the backup. Kenny Pickett will be the emergency quarterback. The new rookie quarterback will have veteran Joe Flacco as a sounding board, as well as semi-veteran Kenny Pickett. We're going with semi-veteran because, he really hasn't played that much, and he is still on his rookie deal, and he does have a Super Bowl ring. So, 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks you've got in that quarterback room. I know that's a stretch, but it is true. 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in that locker room. But those are my thoughts. I am pretty I'm not going to say 100% because you never know with the Browns, but I think they're leaning Travis Hunter at 2, and then they will either take a quarterback at 33 or they will trade back up into the first for a quarterback. Who those guys are, I have seen multiple rumors. Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, and most recently, Will Howard has snuck into the talk. So, Will Howard, they most likely would not even have to take at 33 if that is who they are targeting. So, they do have 2 picks in the 3rd round. So, they could maybe take another guy at 33 and keep an eye on how things are going and maybe trade up either into the maybe trade up into the late 2nd if need be to get Will Howard. I don't know. But to me, of those 4 guys that are possibly the 1 to 3 on the Browns list of QBs, Jackson Dart and Will Howard make the most sense behind Joe Flacco. Shedeur Sanders probably fits in there too. Jalen Milroe, not so much. Jalen Milroe and Joe Flacco, not even close to the same style quarterback. Not even close. So we'll see. There is a lot of talk because of Tommy Rees being the offensive coordinator that the Browns are heavily interested in Jalen Milroe. I have not seen that. They had more guys at the Colorado showcase than they had at Milrose. So I haven't seen it, but we'll see. I mean, what do I know? But yeah, those are my thoughts. That's what I think they're gonna do. If you have other thoughts, let me know in the chat or hit me up on the socials. Let me know what you think about what the Browns might be doing at quarterback after signing Joe Flacco this past week. Now, for another kind of football, let's talk some football. Soccer, aka soccer. So, the Columbus Crew, they did not have any matches this past week, but they have been quite busy this past week. They acquired a designated player and middle fielder Daniel Gazdag. I don't know if I'm saying that right because he hasn't played yet, so I haven't heard his name said. But, or it might be Daniil because there's some accent marks on there. Anywho, in a cash for player trade with the Philadelphia Union, he would be the Cucho Hernandez replacement. Sean Sawatsky threw out the first pitch at Friday's Guardians versus Royals game. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Speaking of throwing out the first pitch, I forgot to mention this. For opening day, Ohio State's Jack Sawyer threw out the first pitch. So that was pretty cool too. He's another guy that could be in play at 33 for the Browns. If they don't go if they do go Travis Hunter, Jack Sawyer at 33, Travis Hunter at 1, and then Will Howard, I'd be I'd be a happy camper if that's what they ended up doing. I would be. I know people don't like Will Howard, but I do. So, and if you saw my show last week with Barry Shuck, I talked quite a bit about Will Howard and what I think of him. But anywho, back to the Columbus Crew. Next up for the Crew tonight, they will play St. Louis City SC. And then next Saturday, they will take on Inter Miami CF at Huntington Bank Stadium right here in the CLE. And I posted the reminder about this yesterday, and somebody commented and said, well, if the Crew are playing up in Cleveland, then I think the Browns should play one regular season game down in Columbus. That could be interesting. Are they going to play at Crew Stadium, lower.com field, or Ohio Stadium if they go down and play a game in Columbus? That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but the Haslams are involved with both teams, so you never know. It could. It could happen. But depends on seating as well. Yes. Yeah, I don't think lower.com can hold the right capacity. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're about 20,000 or so. But Ohio Stadium definitely has the capacity. But then you also have to work around the college schedule and all of that fun stuff. But let's talk some more championships. Championships. Because that's what the Crunch does. They win championships, y'all. It is Crunch time. The MLIS playoffs began on Friday, and the Cleveland Crunch took on Chicago Panathinaikos, winning 14-2 to advance to the MLIS championship for the second year in a row. Admir Suljovic had a first half hat trick. Gabriel Piwu was named man of the match, and he also had a hat trick. Tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Cleveland Crunch will be playing the Amarillo Bombers for their 6th championship overall and their 2nd in a row. Way to go, Cleveland Crunch. Get it done. Guys, I have faith in you. I know you can do it. They were 2 seconds away from an undefeated season. They only lost 1 match, and it was by 1 point or 1 goal, whatever. However, yeah. Every other match they won in resounding fashion for the most part. There were a couple that were a little closer than others, but for the most part, they won them in pretty resounding fashion. I don't recall that they have played the Amarillo Bombers though this season. So we'll see how that plays out. But last year they crushed the championship match. So I expect no less from them this year. But that is all I have for you all. Thank you once again for joining me, Jenn B, on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you want to watch some G League basketball, check out the Cavs tonight against the Pacers. The Blue Jackets continue their fight for a playoff spot. Also tonight, the Monsters are playing tonight. The Guardians are playing this afternoon. The Fury are playing tonight. The Crew are playing tonight. And the Crunch for the championship tonight. So all kinds of sports out there for you to indulge in the North and Central OHIO. So check them all out. You can also catch a race or two with NASCAR and Indy. And I will see you on the Extra Mile tomorrow. And then I will catch you back here with the Show of the Land next Sunday morning at 11 a.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a blessed Sunday and a fantastic week. And I will see you next show.